Hey guys, this is Ashi Senpai here today to review One Piece chapter 742. Now, this chapter of One Piece, damn, damn. Alright, so basically, this chapter had two parts to it, two main parts. Kyros and Ussop, kind of similar to last week's chapter, but this one was actually kind of in reverse because we started off with Kyros and ended off with Usopp. But with last week's chapter, we started off with Usopp and ended off with Kyros. So basically, these are basically the wrapping up of the story between these two characters. Well, they're two stories. So let's get on with the chapter, right? When it comes to Kyros, we see him 9 years after he kills those people that killed his friend, and he now has won 3,000 fights, similar to the legend that we've heard before. And at this point, the last person that he fights is none other than King Riku. And King Riku is actually wearing the same disguise that he wore during the Block B fight. And basically, Carlos asks him, "Well, why did you do this? Like, don't you think that the people should know?" And King Riku mentions, "I've gotten a lot stronger, and I was able to wound you. So, I've just been impressed by your skill." And then he mentions to Kyros how Kyros, now that he has redeemed himself, according to King Riku, he can. Why don't you just leave the Colosseum, become my captain, become the captain of the Dressrosa army? So basically, after that, Kyros goes out. He becomes the captain. About a year later, and he meets Rebecca's mom, Scarlet, and Rebecca's aunt, Violet. Now, Rebecca's mom, I forgot the actual term for it, but I think it's tsundere, something like that. And basically, a tsundere, excuse me, a tsundere is a girl type character that doesn't like a male character that much, but then learns to love him over time. Kind of like, like between Videl and Gohan in Dragon Ball Z. Videl was like, oh, you're not really that cool. Next thing you know, she falls in love with him, marries him, and they have a kid. Kind of how it goes. And basically, the way she falls in love with Kyros is he saves his life from her life from a bunch of pirates. And before that, she mentions how, oh, you're a murderer. These people might see you as good people, a good person in their eyes, but in my eyes, I see you as a murderer, and I'm watching you. I'm watching you. And of course, we see a little bit of comedy from, I think, what's his name? What's her name? Violet. Violet. Violet, she's just sitting there, and she's using her devil fruit ability. She's like, oh, I can see this guy isn't that bad. And then Rebecca's mom, Scarlett's like, no, I'm not taking that. I don't care. Hey, hey. Stop staring at her like that. So, kind of like that. So, that's pretty cool. Later, they end up falling in love. And then after that, Kairos, Scarlet decides that she doesn't want to live in the palace anymore, so she fakes her death to live with Kyros. Sitting there, I'm like, what? I mean, granted, that threw me off because I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a second, why would you, um, what's it called? Fake your death just so you can live with this man. I understand y'all are in love, but it's like, god damn. I mean, I'm just saying. And they live in the cottage. So that's why, despite the fact that Scarlet was a princess, she lived in the cottage from now on there with Kyros. And then later they have a child who ends up being Rebecca. And of course, this links to the whole thing with Kyros and how Kyros, despite the fact that he is now, like, people see him more as a hero because, he is the captain, he doesn't think he's pure enough. And when Rebecca is born, he doesn't want to touch her. He's like, "Oh no, I'm impure. I'm a bad person. I'm notorious. I'm a really bad person." And I thought this was kind of funny. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was pretty funny when Kyros, he put on gloves and then he grabbed Rebecca as a baby. He's like, "Oh, that's good. You're so precious. Oh, I'll take care of you forever." I'm sitting there. I'm like, dude, you don't have to wear like a. It's Kyros, but Kyros is kind of weird, even though he's pretty badass. So what happens 6 years later? We see 6 years later, the incident, what happened with Dressrosa. And basically at this point, Kyros sees what's going on. He's like, okay, Rebecca, Scarlet, you guys stay here. I'm gonna go check it out. If I'm not back within a certain amount of time, what I want you to do is go to the red flower fields. And of course they agree. Rebecca's like, Daddy, like she's pretty scared. We see Kyros go up against Doflamingo, and he asks, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to take over his country? And of course, Doflamingo, his sly ass, oh man, oh yeah, didn't you see? The king did it. I'm sitting there like, Doflamingo, the fuck? I mean, I love this dude, but he's just full of shit. I'm sitting there like, yo, why are you lying? Of course, Kyros knows who really did it, but it's just crazy. And at this point, that's when Kyros gets turned into a toy. We find out apparently that Kyros' leg got cut off by his own doing because he was stuck by Karoseki hand sea chains. Cuts off his leg, jumps and attacks Doflamingo. In comes Sugar. Touch turns into a toy. Immediately afterwards, everyone forgets about him. And at that point, that's when he saves King Riku. And King Riku doesn't remember Kyros at all. He's like, oh, thank you, Mr. Toy. I don't know exactly who you are, but thank you. And he says, don't you remember it? I'm Kyros. I have never heard a name like that. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo. So Sugar's ability, we all know it's hacked, but this was pretty damn sad. And then after that, we find out that, well, basically we knew for sure, but we see Kyros actually see Scarlet getting killed. I was like, oh my god. And then he's crying because he sees Scarlet, and Scarlet doesn't remember him at all. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And he mentions how he can't really feel her warmth because he's a toy now. And he's swinging her. It's like, oh, I can't feel your warmth even though you're dying in my hands. He yells out his name over and over again, Scarlet, Scarlet. It's really sad. It's really sad. And of course, we see a panel with Diamante, him holding a gun. Everyone else like, who shot her? Who shot her? And next thing you know, it's just Diamante. He's just laughing. So that's Diamante. And so basically, that's Kyros when it comes to his flashback. Now, when it comes to Kyros when he gets out of his daydream, basically at that point, Gladius and a whole bunch of subordinates are heading towards the second floor to go combat Luffy, Violet, and Kyros. And at that point, Kyros is wondering, yo, can we just go and like attack Doflamingo now? Because Usoland, aka Ussop, really isn't doing anything. Why isn't the plan working? We might as well do it now. Little does he know, at the end of the I mean, I'll get to that in a little bit, but little does he know, Usopp is the true savior of the kingdom, my personal opinion, even though what he did was pretty funny. I mean, yo, the face, but I'll get to that in a second. And basically, at that point, Gladius is getting towards the palace now. He's trying to go take out Luffy, Violet, and Kyros. And at that point, Kyros should be in full human form. Will he be able to fight without a leg? I'm not too sure, which is a problem. Because, like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, he cut off his leg, and I'm pretty sure his leg can't reform. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be wrong. But we'll see where that goes from there. And then we see other things. We see the Coliseum, Sabo, and Jesus Burgess. Oh, my God. Yo, Oda, stop flexing, bro. Show us Sabo's face. And they're just fighting. And then Sabo's saying, yo, I like this. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, Oda. And then we see Burgess just landing like elbow blows, bam. Sabo dodging. We just dodging this shit. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm hyped for that fight. And I really want to see Sabo's face. Like, no homo. I really want to see Sabo's face. So there's that. And then we see Rebecca. Now, Rebecca, despite the fact that I sympathize with her and the fact that she just found out who killed her mom, this is the time where if I were in her position, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't cry, I would cry, you know, if my mom died. But it's like, wait a second. So you're telling me that you're not gonna fight this dude? He killed your mom. Go. And I mean, it's like, I know she's only 16. I still don't get that. How is she 16 years old with a rack like that? I don't know. But I understand. But it's like, dude, what the fuck? But That's Rebecca, and of course we see Bartolomeo. He's following Sabo's orders. He's protecting Rebecca, and I like how he says, "Oh, yo, don't say anything really mean and abusive, because I can't protect it against verbal attacks." He says his bury up and stuff. I thought that was pretty funny. So basically, that was Rebecca crying. I know she feels sad, but come on, I mean, attack the dude, attack him. Come on, be honest now. So, but I sympathize with her in the fact that she did lose. She did find out what happened to her mom, so I'll give her that. Now, when it comes to Frankie and Ussop, Frankie, he's beaten down. He's beaten. I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, Frankie, what happened? I mean, granted, Senior Pink, Mock Vice was there, and I believe a Vice Admiral was there too, and a whole bunch of other fodder Marines. I understand. But it's like, yo, what the fuck did they do? So, and then, he sees them, and Frankie's mentioning, oh, Ussop, it's all up to you now. Fix this, bro. Fix this. And then Ussop, we see, he fixes it. I mean, to be true, he does fix it, but it's not in the sense that you would think. And basically, I'm ending off this note. He got fucked up by a treble. And we see a bunch of the people who are turning into toys actually rooting for Ussop. Because, like, Ussop, Straw Hat Ussop, Ussop the Straw Hat, please save us, please be our savior, I'll work for you, I'll give you money, stuff like that. So basically, it's just adding up to Usopp's hype being the hero of this operation. And of course, he loses. Now, did I think that he was going to lose? Yeah, I knew for a fact that Usopp was going to lose the fight. But I did think that Usopp would actually put in some work, like, formulate some kind of plan. Even though Treble is powerful, I didn't expect Usopp to win, like Usopp to lose, like that. I thought Usopp had some kind of type of plan. Because as far as we know, he doesn't have any type of hockey, and I mean, hockey's necessary. But at least, I mean, he was brave. And at that point, he's all fucked up. I think he's unconscious. And we see Sugar. Sugar just takes the grape. He's like, ugh, he's gonna die. And she just puts the grape in his mouth. He swallows it. And next thing you know, he just freaks out. And I was like, bro, what the fuck is that? Like he said, it's like, no, no, no. And all of a sudden, Sugar sees this and she trips out. She's like, oh, she immediately, her eyes bug out. Basically, what happens, the NL picture, how NL's just freaking out and she's like, whoa, it's like, dude. And, stuff like that. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, the fuck? So, I mean, it's funny, but I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a second. That's how Sugar gets knocked out? It's kind of anticlimactic. I mean, granted, it's funny as fuck, but still, I mean, I expected something epic to happen. But granted, Usopp did do his mission. He did come back and try and save the day. So I'll give them that. And of course, now that Sugar is knocked out, my nigga Kyros. Oh, sorry. My nigga Kyros. Oh Lord. When he goes back and then Luffy and Kyros and Violet are gonna go in. Oh god. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but it's gonna be insane. And bruh, all the toys are gonna revert back to humans. All of them. It's gonna be oh shit, I can't fucking wait. Next week, I can't wait for next week's chapter. I just can't fucking wait. But okay, so overall, this chapter I'm gonna give it a good plus. It progressed the story really well. The pacing was pretty good. We finished the mission, at least the first part of the mission for Usopp, because now that he's taking out Sugar, he has to go save the what's it called? He and Robin, because Robin's gonna turn back into a human any second. They're gonna go try and save their comrades in the factory, blow the factory up. That's Operation SOP done. And of course, that means that the true fight will happen next week. Oh Lord, it's gonna be epic, yo. Kyros, Luffy, I'm telling you, dude, Kyros is gonna go all out. Luffy can go out. It's gonna be insane. But overall, yeah, good plus rating. I'll see you guys later. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't. Comment, rate, subscribe, and yeah. RG Senpai out, and peace.